Okay, thank you, Kara. So, good afternoon, everyone, whoever over here and in the United States and the folks around the world. Good evening and good morning. So, this is going to be an interesting topic today, and this is a big surprise from the FDA, which is going to go to the public today. So with this, I'll start with, unfortunately, I do not have any poll questions, but I can ask one question from my side. So I'm not advertising for iPhones. iPhone 8 is just released. How many people you bought iPhone 8? No one? Come on, yeah. Huh, you guys are like me, I'm waiting for the iPhone X to come up. Okay, so I got it. So why I asked this question is iPhone 8, okay, it's a totally revolutionized. It is a retina screen. It is like your face recognition. You do not have to touch screen or anything. It will see your face and it will open your iPhone. It's a technology advancement. It's technology changed. There are few people not few, there are all people around the world. What they do is there are three categories of the people. The first category, what they do is they jump into the new technology right away. As soon as it's in the marketplace, they jump into that and they adapt to that and they run with this. And some people like me, I wait for 6 months or 1 year to adapt to that, how people are using. I'll see the price value come down, then I'll buy it. So that's me. And another type of people like my dad never change. It takes 10 to 15 years to change the technology. And I asked him to remove your landline, take a phone. And it took 15 years for him to change from landline to a phone. And finally he bought it. But when he bought the phone, I said, get a smartphone. What is that? And then he said, no, I'm not going to buy a smartphone. I'm going to give me a 10-digit phone. I said, what is 10-digit phone? Only the numbers. He can dial in. So that's the 10-digit number here. And it has to be big in the letter because he cannot see well. So anyway, so this is not the topic. So this is just a joke. So this presentation is going to be the new FAERS adverse event dashboard, which is we have made it from the CDER initiative. And this dashboard is for the public. And public is going to use this for their general use around the world. So this initiative has started quite 6-7 months before, and in our office, I work for Office of Surveillance and Epidemiology and with the regulatory science staff at the CDER. And our center office director, he came to us and said that we need something like this. Can you do it? So I said, okay. We took the challenge and we jump into getting the requirement and building these applications. So this is the disclaimer before I get into the, just take 30 seconds to read this and then I'll get into the presentation. Okay. So as you know, this is the background. So FDA Adverse Event Reporting System is a database. It's a database which we receive the adverse event from the domestic ICSRs we receive from the manufacturer, from the consumer, healthcare professional, and those are the reporters. So also we receive data from the worldwide, from the other countries. Also we receive ICSRs to our FAERS database. As all of you know that we have approximate 14 million reports in our database. Out of this 14 million reports, we get electronic report, which is ICH E2B XMLs, to our database. It is around 97% of the data we receive through the electronic way. Okay. The rest of the information we receive through a MedWatch online program, which is an online program, which we receive those information in the electronic format. Also, we receive from the consumers in the 3500 MedWatch form and 3500B, which is the healthcare professional, they use it in order to send those adverse event information to FDA. And we have another program called SRP, Safety Reporting Portal. And through the Safety Reporting Portal, small pharma companies, they use that portal in order to submit adverse event report to FDA. As you see, the increase in the number of reports every year, we are expecting every year almost more than 1 million reports to our database. That consists of adverse events and medication errors. So as this is increasing, the volume, this is a significant work internally at FDA to triage those information and make it available for our safety evaluators or medical monitor in order to review those. And also we produce that data set, which is redacted information, which is the PI, personal information, PHI information. We removed it and we give it back to the US public, and around the world, people use those data set for their own need. Okay. So with that, the objective of this initiative is to provide information to the public in an accessible format and transparent manner. So as the transparency is the big effort from FDA, we need to be transparent with the public, giving the information so that people can use, they can read those information, and they can talk to their doctors and prescribe get their medications. So the new public dashboard is going to be very user-friendly access to the FAERS reports and adverse event data as more accessible and transparent, as well as mentioned over here. So today, there are two outlets we have. One is the Open FDA, you can get the data. Another one is the quarterly data extract. So Open FDA is an initiative where the data from Open FDA using the quarterly data extract, they convert it to the JSON format. It is very technical term. They convert it to the JSON format and give it to the public. So who is going to, general public cannot use the JSON file to read in their computer, and laptop, or any mobile devices. They do not have any expertise on that to do this. So mostly, who is benefited out of it? Those people who have the IT investments or the IT companies, they can take that data file and generate this kind of programs which for the public. And other initiatives like the text and ASCII files and XML files also require a lot of IT background. You have to stitch all the information. As it is in a very flat file, and some of the XML file, you have to stitch it in order to present it back to the, and you can view those data in a readable manner. So all those two is mostly people, those are IT savvy or the investment, their infrastructure, they can do that. But this is going to be the new one today. So this is developed by us, and this is going to be very interactive. The plan of this is, this application should work in all web browsers. There is no keyboard required. You can touch screen. You can use your iPad. You can use your any tablet device, your iPhone, your computer, whatever. You just need a web browser. Any web browser, this is going to work. This is that simplified form. And this data is going to be about 14 million data as of August 31st, 2017. And this too is very incremental. The data over here, these two, it's since 2004 to till to date. But over here, you will get the data from 1968 to till today. So that's the data you are going to, full phase of the data set, you are going to get that information. And other advantage is the data is already coded, the product is coded, and the preferred term, which is the adverse reactions, are coded to the MIDRA terms, and all those information you are going to get up to date over here. So this FAERS public dashboard is going to be the interactive dashboard, and this is going to enable you to use it for your daily use, and you can take that information and use it for your own need. So with that, a couple of website disclaimers are the key points to consider. The data quality. The data quality, there are many instances, it's a duplicative data. Duplicative data means it could be a adverse event is submitted by the patient, an adverse event submitted by the same adverse event submitted by the healthcare professional. Also, the industry, the pharma companies, they send it to FDA. So we have 3 reports for the same patient. So that is called duplicate reports. But even if those are duplicate reports, we consider at FDA, those are the single individual unique reports. And for the analysis purpose or for the data mining purpose, we use a deduplication method in order to review it. But when someone is sending information to us, it is going to be very unique to us, and it is individual reports. And some reports do not contain necessary information. That means to make a ICSRs, you need 5 data sets, 5 mandatory data set to make a ICSRs. But for this one, there are other information like dosing information, the route of administration. Those information may not be there because those are not mandatory elements. So the existence of the report doesn't establish any causation. This is very important. The causation means that there is no certainty that suspected drug caused the adverse events. We cannot claim that the report came for, let's say, for the Tylenol, and Tylenol caused this. We cannot say that. So adverse event may have been related to underlying disease being treated or caused by the any concurrent medications. So this could be caused by any disease. So we cannot guarantee on that for any other disease. The information in these reports reflects only the reporter observation and opinions. So whoever is reporting, it is their opinion, their observation. When they found it, they submit it to FDA. So information in this report has not been verified. That means the submission of the reports doesn't mean that the information included in it has been medically confirmed. So no, it's not confirmed when we received, and we received as the observation and opinions from the public, and then we add those information for our review. Other key points to be considered. So rate of occurrence cannot be established with the reports. That means the number of adverse events should not be used to determine the likelihood of the side effect is occurring. So we cannot say that this thousands of adverse events reported for this drug. So we cannot say that it's because of this drug, this adverse event is happening. So we cannot say that. So factors such as the time to product has been marketed and publicity can be influence reporting. This is another most important part, and patients should not change their medication by looking into this dashboard. If they are taking some medication and they found out that there are so many deaths occur, so they should stop their medication right away? No. They should consult with their primary care physician or the physician they are treating them, and ask them, they can take this information and talk to them before changing their medications. Patient outcome received in FAERS. A reported serious outcomes doesn't necessarily mean that the suspect products named in the report was cause of these outcomes. Finally, the FAERS data by themselves are not indicator that a drug is causing the reported adverse event. This is the key point we have to consider when we are going to get into this dashboard. So this presentation is 3 parts. This is the first one you have to remember. And the second part, I'm going to give a live demonstration, then I'll open it for the question and answer. So with this, let's go to the live demo. Okay, so when you, the way you are going to access this website is through the FAERS, let me go there. So this is going to be the website. So previously you all know about this. This is a FAERS adverse event reporting system in the FDA. Okay, so if you go below link, it is live. Here you are going to click it in order to get to the access to the application. Okay, so when you launch this application, so first of all, it is going to give you a disclaimer. So you have to accept this disclaimer. If you do not accept this disclaimer, it will take back to your FAERS page, FDA page. And that link is which I showed it to before, that link you are going to get it. So you have to accept this, and it has whatever the things, the key point consideration I said, it's all written over here. You have to read it through, then accept and go. As soon as you clicked, this is the screen you are going to get. So this report, so it gives you the 14 million report, which we have it in our database as of August 31st, 2017. So let's go, before getting into this detail, so let's go through this. So this button over here, this is a step back. This is a step forward. And this is to clear all selections. And this gray bar is going to be for your, all the filters is going to be available over here. So this is a step back and step forward. It's kind of a rewind, and the forward, I'm going to show it to you. So the first screen, it mentioned that the total number of reports is 14 million reports, and out of that, serious reports is 8 million reports, and death reports is 1.4 million reports, approximately. So this data is presented in two formats. One is the tabular view, one is the graphical view. So in the tabular view and graphical, wherever you click on this this data set, it's going to be a filter for you. Okay. So over here, there are 4 reports available. One is the reports by reporter type, reports by the reporter, reports by the reporter region, report by the reporter seriousness, report seriousness. Okay. So these are the 4 reports available. As I mentioned, this is from since 1969, the data over here. This is a scroll bar, and you can see 1969, 107 reports, and it goes to 2016 and 2017. As of August, it is 1.2 million report for the August. So if you want to see the since last 10 years, you just click on last 10 years, and this is going to show last 10-year data set. Okay. So I'm going to build a use case on this one. This use case is, let me introduce myself as a researcher and doing a research on this, and I wanted to see the aggregated view of this information. So in order to view this, what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm interested on 2017 going back to 2010. Those many data set I'm doing a research. So what I'm going to do is, I'll click it, drag it like this. As soon as I click, the data is changed, then I will accept it. So this is 2010 to 2017. Those are the data set I'm going to do a research on. So I want to know how many reports came, the total number of reports, how many serious reports, and how many death reports. From here, as I applied that filter, the first filter, then my filter is available over here. So I'll go, then on this one, I'm interested on only the expedited report. I can click over here in the expedited, or I can click it over here. So let me click over here. So it is this many, out of that 9 million report, 5 million report is the expedited reports, and this many serious reports and the death. Then from here, I'll apply another filter. I'm interested only the healthcare professional reports. So I click that, that will filter from 5 million to 3 million reports. From here, I'll go to the reporter region. So reporter region, it could be domestic, it could be foreign report, and not specified. Some reports we have, there is not specified reports also. So we do not know where it came from. So I'm interested, as I'm researching in the United States, I'm going to click on the domestic report. So that will filter to 1.1 million report. Okay. So from here, I'll go to the reports by the report seriousness. So death, non-serious, and serious. So serious and death consist of seriousness. So I want to exclude non-serious reports. So I'll select the death and the serious. That will change my filter, and it will apply my filter, and it is 1 million reports. So this is the overall information which I'm doing a research on. Or if I'm a media, I'm looking for this kind of aggregated information, so I can get that and I can use that information. So from here, I'm interested right now, yes, I have in this screen, but I want to take this snapshot of this information and I want to put it to my manuscript, which I'm going to publish. So in order to do that, I just have to click on the right click. So this will focus on that section, and it will give 3 things. One is I can see the full view of the data. If I click that, it is going to open up. If I click on this one, this will give me more advanced functionality. I can sort these reports, or I can change the presentation to different views I wanted to see in my manuscripts. So I'm not going to change that, but the final thing I'm going to do is I can take the data out of this. I can export it that as an image. If I click on the image, so it gives me the default 96 dpi. I can change that resolution, which if it is going to as a manuscript publication, it requires more dpi. So I can increase that and see the export. So this will create the directly export the image from this website. So this is going to create it stick. So you can see that file. So if you open it in the paintbrush, you can see that file is created. Okay. So this is my first use case as an aggregated view I'm looking into, and I can take this information and put it to my manuscript as I go. Also, I can take the data set out. So if I say export the data to Excel spreadsheet, it creates the Excel spreadsheet, it open up. So my Excel spreadsheet is ready with those data set. So this takes seconds to get the data, even if it doesn't matter how many number of reports you have, so it is that quick to get that information. So as I said, you can rewind back, go back to your story, which you built, and you see those filters is going to be removed when you go back. When you go forward, it is going to create the same story which you have created, and it will stop the last step which you have taken. So this is the first aggregated view at the first use case I just demonstrated, so you can go ahead and play with this. So from here, I'm going to change the topic a little bit to a personal use case, okay? But before going to that, there is a site feedback form over here. So when you click this one, it will go to the drug info at fda.hhs.gov. When you click that, it will open your Microsoft Outlook, and this link, this email is going to be there. So you can email with your site feedback so that it will help us to improve this website. So report a problem, if I click the report a problem, it will open the MedWatch form. Directly you can use the 3500 or 3500B form in order to report your adverse events. And there is a FAQ page. So all the questions and answers is over here. So you can use those questions and answer if you have any questions. So if you have any questions which is not listed over here, please send it to site feedback form so that we can able to answer that questions. Okay, with this, I'm jumping into a use case, which is search by products. So this is interesting. So the search by product is like a day what I was doing in my deck. I'm testing this application, and my wife came, and I took the permission of my wife to use it for this kind of demonstration. So she said, Sanjay, what are you doing? I said, I'm working on this, this. I just explained a little bit. She's interested. She's getting treatment for the blood pressure, and she's taking a medication called amlodipine basellite, 0.25 milligram since 2010 to 2017. So she said, can I see what information you have in your database, and can I use search my product on that? I said, oh, okay, go ahead, use it. Then I gave the computer to her, and what she did is she just typed this much information. So as it is a smart search, she found her medication over here. So this provides the amlodipine basellite with generic drug, and she clicked on that. As soon as she clicked, she saw the information is listed like this. She saw 47,206 reports with us, cases with us. There's this many serious cases and this many death cases. When she sees that, she got freaked out. Okay, this many deaths? What I'm taking, so she immediately said, I'm going to call my doctor. I said, hold on a second, go ahead and search more. And her blood pressure, she's taking blood pressure because the blood pressure gone high with this information. Okay, so I said, you saw that the disclaimer you have to read? No, yeah, I saw that disclaimer. Okay, so just wait for that information. So what she did is she went through this, and she's interested from 2010 to 2017 data, and there are a couple of functionality over here in order to explore. So she did, okay, she selected she's interested from 2010 to 2017. She applied that filter. The filter got applied over here. Then she clicked on the reaction. She saw a couple of reactions, and she's interested on the hypotension, dizziness, headache, and nausea. So this many information she is interested on. Then she changed that to the age group. So as she belonged between this age range, she selected that. So that's changed to from that many cases to 1,633. Then she clicked on the cases by sex. So she's a female. She applied that So that changed that cases to 905 and 79 so serious cases and 53 death cases. And the reporter type. So reporter type, she is interested in the healthcare professional. As she goes like this, and she applied this general filters, which is over here for that medication she is taking. Now she found that there are 575 reports, 543 serious cases, and 49 death cases. So with that, so what next? So she clicked on the reaction by the group, and these are the system organ class. So she found out that this is vascular disorder, nervous system disorder, and gastrointestinal disorders. And as she applied the filter already, so it retains those, and then she is going through the rest of the information quickly. Then she is jumping into the cases by reporter region. So on this one, she applied another filter, the domestic. So that changed the reports to 220 cases, still 26 death cases. Still she is worried about this. Okay, so then she clicked on the reaction. So in the reaction, when she clicked, she found out that, okay, so hypotension belongs to the vascular disorder, dizziness and headache belongs to the nervous system disorder, and gastrointestinal disorder or nausea is related to that. And she found out that these many information are the outcomes, so death, disability, hospitalization, life-threatening, non-serious, other outcomes, and required intervention. These are the outcomes, which is the descriptions is listed over here. You can read it through when you play around with it. So, but she wanted to exclude the non-serious one from here. So she clicked on the diet, disability, hospitalization, life-threatening, other outcomes, and required intervention. So as she applied that, so it immediately changed those number of reports to 2 cases and 1 death cases. So let me take it out these outcomes. Let's bring back the data a little bit more. So this is the information she has, and now she is interested in what I'm going to do with this information. And she also checked, as she applied this filter before, it retained that, and she wanted to, so okay, this information is okay, so can I take the line listing of this? So she clicked on that. So it's going to generate immediately the line listing of 220 cases. So it takes 7 seconds to 10 seconds max to generate. Okay, so here you go. So this is the line listing. So all based on all the quarterly data extract, which is redacted and published at the FDA website. So we take that information and she created 220 cases, and all the case IDs, all other information is listed on this one. So all it depends on your resolution of your computer. So these are the, right now it is around 7 columns is displaying, but you can add more columns, you can take out columns from the library. So this is the library. So those are in the black color, it is in the screen. Those are not in the black color, in the gray color, those are not, those are in the library. So she dragged the patient age, she wanted to put it after the case ID. She have added that. And also she wanted to know who has reported this, the manufacturing control number. As soon as she applied that, so she found, okay, so this many information is there. So then she is interested on to get, as it is a big range of the ages, she wanted to filter here. So she clicked on that, and then she is going to select from, as C belongs to this range, so she applied that filter. As soon as she applied that filter, now she is happy. She found that there is 0 death cases. Oh, this is a safe drug. And she is much more happier right now. And she said, oh, Sanjay, wait, no, it saved my life. Okay, so so what she is going to do is, okay, she said, Sanjay, what I'm going to do with this information? What is this case ID? I said, this case ID is a reference to the actual reports. What you can do is you take export out of this, right click, and take export out to your Excel spreadsheet. And it creates a file right away. So then you do a FOIA request on that. So this information, when you export out, all the data field is going to be listed on its 23 data items is listed. So in our public dashboard or in our data, which is quarterly data extract, we have around similar same types of numbers, like around 25 or 26 data columns. But 3 of those data columns we have not provided yet. It is going to come in the next release. But 23 data columns is there. Also literature reference and all this information. I said you take this information to your doctor, and doctor or you can put a request to FOIA to get the actual reports, which is you will get the narrative information. So that what he's going to do is he will take this information and go to the doctor and put a request. So with this is the story of my personal use case, and this is she's very happy with this, and she's been sitting with me and exploring more about it. Now it's going to go to the public, and you all can use it. Okay. From here, the last point is, so as she's looking into this medication, let's say she's taking another medication. So before that, she'll go to the demographics. She'll use another medication, let's say metformin. So this is a diabetic drug. So as soon as you click that one, so that gives you the information right away, and it retains all your parameters over here. But one parameter is not applicable over here, is the reaction term. So you want to click that one to remove it. As soon as it's clicked, as she got that information with the rest of the parameter as she applied before. Okay. So this creates the power of this website. And you can use this information for your personal use. And the good news is this is live, and the links is available, so you can go ahead and use it. Okay? So these are the 2 use cases which I demonstrated today, and I would request all of you have this information in your iPhone or wherever you are going, and use this information to know about what are the reports reported to adverse events, reports reported to FDA, and you have access to that. So if you are a company or you do not have IT investment, you can take this line listing data set for your drugs, and you can do research based on those data set. Okay? So with this, my presentation demo is over, and I will open it for the question and answer.
Okay, as per usual, if you have any questions in the room, just raise your hand and I will bring the microphone around. For those of you online, if you haven't already done so, that Q&A pod in the lower right-hand corner, feel free to go ahead and type in any questions you have for Sanjay. Let's go ahead and take our first online question, please.
Is it possible to analyze specific diseases, for example, breast cancer reports?
So we got this request before. Unfortunately, you cannot do that. This is not a disease-specific website. We made it. So we took that requirement during our testing phase and internally with the FDA when we talked to our researcher, and they have asked the same questions. So it is under our requirement. So we are going to release it in the next release.
Okay. Questions in the room? Right there. Let's bring
Yes.
there and then there. Okay.
So there's a huge jump in the number of reports for 2015 and 2016. Is there any particular reason or reasons associated with that?
Yes. The reason behind it, so 2015 and 2016, you see the big jump. Yes. So what happened in 2015 is, 2015 September, around September 11, 2015, there is an announcement from the FDA that to industry that you have to comply with the electronic reports. That means that all the reports you submitted to the non-expedited report, which is the periodic report to FDA in the PDF form through the ECTD submissions, you have to submit it through the electronic format, like ICH E2B format. So when that got mandated, then all those backlogs from the industry, they converted to the E2B XML and dump it to our electronic submission gateway. So that when that came, so the jumps immediately, like significant jumps from the 2014 to 2015. And right now it is 100% compliant. all those industry companies, pharma companies, everyone is compliant 100% with the electronic submissions. So 15 days report and non-expected report, periodic reports from the industry has to be in electronic format.
Term.
Yes, you can. You can do that if you are searching. I just demonstrated that with amlodipine basalite. Yes, you can do by the reaction term filter. But first is the driver is the product you are taking. As this is designed for the patients and the medication you do not know about the reaction terms or system organ class. Maybe that's for the researcher or the medical professionals. But as a consumer, you are taking this medication, let's say you are taking Advil, and I'm going to search for Advil only. So that's the focus currently, but eventually this is going to take into the next step of giving more depth analysis towards the disease, towards the drug class, farm class, to the ATC code level for the drugs, and those are going to come in the future, but may not be, it's going to be available for the public. Those are for the healthcare professionals. So we're going to expand those in our next release.
Okay, next question here in the room.
This seems like this could be a really powerful tool for the average person in the U.S. What are the planned activities to, first of all, inform people about its existence, and then to help them understand how to actually navigate this and obtain useful information to them?
So, the thing is that this is going to be available in the FDA website, and there is going to be a communication to the public, and that communication, once it's going to be released to public, then you will have those information. So those links is going to be available, and how to use this system. There will be a training video for this one. Currently it is not there, so we are going to build that, and so that you can able to use it. And there will going to be an announcement for this.
Excellent. Other questions in the room? In the back of the room.
If you pull up the search using the active ingredient, will it also pull up all the reports with the brand name products?
Unfortunately not. But the way it is let's say there is a primary suspect drug, and the primary suspect drug is the way ICSR reported, it is an active ingredient. And there could be other suspected drug listed on that. And those other suspected drug could be a product name, could be a trade name. Those are going to come with that. So when I showed it to you in the line listing, you see the column, there are two columns. One is for the active ingredient, one is for the product names, the trade names. So if you are searching for the acetaminophen, and that ICSRs also consist of, let's say the branded name, Symbicort or Seroquel or Metformin, that's going to be listed there. So as it goes by the primary suspect drug could be an active ingredient or generic, or could be a brand name. So if it is listed on the ICSRs, it's going to come up. And the one last thing is I wanted to say for that case IDs, which is a case line listing you are seeing, those are the latest version of the report. The report could have multiple versions, but what we are seeing over here in the when you are searching on the product, always you will see the latest version of the report.
Okay, let's take our next online question, please.
Can one search a class of drugs?
No, that feature is not available. Again, that is another requirement which came through when we developed this. Can I search by the farm class or ATC level 5? Yes, it is going to be available in the next release. So we have included to our next release requirements.
If there's any questions in the room, please raise your hand, but let's take the next online question.
Can this system be used to report medical device adverse events? I thought medical device reports needed to be reported through the ESG gateway.
No, medical device reports, it goes to the CDRH, so it doesn't come to the FAERS database. But going forward, there is a combination product initiative is going on. In the combination product, If it is a drug and device included, then the device information reports is going to come to the FAERS. In that instance, yes, those combination product information with the devices is going to be available to this FAERS data set. But currently it goes to the MOD database, another data through the MDR reports, and we do not get those reports over here.
Okay, next question here in the room, please, sir.
First of all, congratulations, Sanjay,
Thank
as
you.
well as to agency for developing such a powerful tool. At the end of the presentation, you mentioned that industry can use this report for their research. Can you please give more detail? What kind of research they can do?
So currently what happened is there is a manufacturer to MMP program. So in the MMP program, what happened is in a pharmaceutical company, they do not have access to the direct reports, which is consumers is sending it to for their drug to FDA. So there is a MMP program where manufacturer is requesting some of, if FDA received some of the consumer reports, can they have access to those reports? So through that program, we are satisfying their need. We are giving those reports manually redacting that. If it is a privacy report, we are not going to send. If it is not a privacy report, marked as a not private report, those reports we are sharing with the manufacturer. But with this program, what will happen is, yes, they will have access to this 14 million data set. So this doesn't distinguish whether it is a through MMP program data set that you're requesting for, or it is. So this is giving all the information. So all those direct reports, they will have access through this. And they can take that information. If they wanted to see the detailed narrative of that, then they have to request for a MMP through the MMP program so that we can give those reports with a redacted narrative to the industry. And for the small pharma companies, those have no capability of accessing this information, or they do not have a capability of stitching those quarterly data extract or using the open FDA. They can directly use this information, get the line listing, export it out for their product, and they can use it for their research purpose.
Okay, again, if there's any questions in the room, please raise your hand. Let's take the next online question.
Does the search pull data for name, brand, and generic if you only enter one name, or do you have to do separate searches?
So you have to do separate searches. So as I said, if you have a farm class as a search, if that capability is already there in the system, then you will able to, you put the farm class, you will get all the drugs under that. But unfortunately, that is not there because it's the first release. And yes, this is going to be available in the next. Also, the another sensitive information we have not added to this is the drug comparison. So we cannot compare one drug with another drug. So because of those, and we have given the individual drugs. If you want to search, you go and search for those drugs and use that information.
Okay, and I think that's all the questions we have. Sanjay, thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming and showing us that.